Arsenal. Don't even look back. Don't even look back, bro. Keep looking straight, bro. Fast forward. Don't even take a sneak peek, but bro, they're coming. Watch out, bro. They're coming. Arsenal, they're coming after you. That lead went from 5 to 2 points real quick. Manchester City 2, Newcastle 1, in a very much entertaining game, especially the first half from a neutral point of view, end-to-end, chances after chance for both teams, very high-paced, whereas second half, it was more defensive, very much grinding the result, very much surviving, suffering, something which they maybe send a little diss to Arsenal, which I'll come to from a second half point of view. But let's talk about the game itself, first half, second half, and player performances, which I need to point out. Three players that I want to talk about, that I want to highlight their performances, because all three of them played a massive role in this Manchester City win. Before we get to it, make sure you all like the video right now. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. We're getting close to 27k, and the road to 30k is still open for that second channel. And of course, comment your own thoughts, Manchester City fans. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys make of today's game. This is how Man City lined up with a three-man forward line of Marmoush, Haaland, and Semenyo. Three players who are very intelligent. Three players who were interchangeable with each other pretty well. Three players that, in terms of off-the-ball movement, they are some of the best players in the league. And Man City started early on firing, trying to create chances. They understood, of course, the assignment where a win today will put massive pressure on Arsenal ahead of tomorrow's game against Spurs. And it happened straight away. 14 minutes into the game, a header, crucial header by Haaland, which no one is talking about, which everyone seems to disregard. But that first goal was created, that a massive part of it was Erling Haaland by winning that header. Crucial little touch to Marmoush. Marmoush with great strength, great balance, by the way. Great strength, great balance, despite being pressured, despite being pushed, bodied, but managed to keep himself composed, especially on balance. Great pass as well to O'Reilly, who I was expecting for him to pass to Haaland, because Haaland made a nice little run on the left-hand side, but he completely ignored Haaland. He saw Malik Thiaw a little bit too late to intercept. Absolute streamer, outside the box. I don't know why. To be fair, Pope could have done a little bit better, but it was too powerful. 1-0 Manchester City. And this is where I thought, you know what? Man City will now get a second goal. We'll get a third goal, similar to what happened at the Carabao in the semi-final at the Etihad. But Newcastle responded pretty well. They responded pretty well. They started to create chances of their own. Gordon had a chance from a nice pass from Watermade. A couple times, by the way, Watermade managed to find Gordon pretty well. Gordon, of course, after he scored 5 goals in the Champions League in the midweek, couldn't find 2 of his chances in the first half. But from a corner, the ball landed to Lewis Hall, and Lewis Hall, rather than using power, rather than using just strike it, very smart, understands in that kind of position with about 6-7 new Man City players in front of him, just one little deflection, it will go straight to goal. And it happened. He took the deflection, went straight to goal, 1-1. And Man City responded pretty well. This is where I thought, you know what? The pressure on trying to chase, the pressure on understanding that the magnitude of this game might be too much for them. They managed to handle it pretty well, especially in the first half where the fans got involved massively, and the fans, I think, somewhat gave Man City that little boost, that little encouragement, and hence the reason the second goal came straight after. Responded pretty well with a great run, a great run from O'Reilly. Beautiful cross from Haaland, who made a great run himself, and O'Reilly making that late run inside the box with a great header to make it 2-1. And Man City could have made it 3-1 in the first half, but Pope made a massive save. And the second half was very much different. The second half was very much a performance of defensive, just grinding the result, making sure that they stop every single possible chance creation from Newcastle. And Mark Gahey made so many blocks, so many intelligent runs that stopped sort of attacks. Elanga was very much wasteful. Gordon was pretty much wasteful. Harrison Barnes came in. Jacob Murphy came in, but nothing changed. It was still the same for Manchester City, and they managed to grind the result. Even though they could have scored a third goal, they could have scored a fourth goal late on with Phil Foden having a chance, Haaland having a chance. There was a moment of I know he could have easily passed it to Haaland, but took too late. To be fair, Dan Burn made a very, very much great defensive play, but Man City keeps on and managed to survive late on. But there was a couple of player performances which I want to highlight. Couple of specifically three players that for me played a massive, massive role in this game. Like everyone had a role of their own, everyone played well, but there's three players that I want to specifically point out. One of them being Margehi, who I feel like over the past couple of games, with every week that goes by, is stepping up and basically becoming that leader, which everyone thought he was at Palace, and becoming an absolute bargain of a signing that Man City made. About 20 million. Everyone's, of course, points out of how much he's earning in terms of wages, but fam, they can give him 300. They can give him 350, 400. If he drops the kind of performance that he's dropping, and in terms of ball playing, in terms of just carrying the ball, it feels like a Rolls Royce, fam. A couple times where he just carries the ball forward, goes past 1-2 players. The pass that he was making, especially one late on to Haaland and one in the first half, which led to a chance. But just the composed demeanor that he's got at the back line, even like managing to do well against Anthony Gordon, managed to do well against Voldemade a couple times. I feel like Mark Gahey's performances with every week that goes by, it's becoming better and better and better. O'Reilly, I feel like the role that Pep has found for him, of course, he started the season as a left back, and he did very well as a left back. Of course, Aïnouri was injured for a lengthy spell, and O'Reilly as a left back played very well. Very, very, very composed. He got his England debut as a left back, but Pep has now found a complete different role as a left-sided eight, very much similar to Gundogan, he played that kind of role with Manchester City a couple of years ago, make that late runs inside the box, that box crashing, that late runs that is one intelligent, secondly adds so much in terms of the off the ball, in terms of Marmoush, because all three of them, like Marmoush, Haaland, and Semenyo, they create great runs, great decoy runs, great selfless runs, which opens up space for that, like especially that first goal. Open space for O'Reilly. That second goal, open space, like the runs that he's making is very intelligent. Reminds me very similar, like I said, to that Gundogan role that he played a couple of years ago. But one man that I want to highlight, one man that I want to talk about is this man right here, Erling Haaland. 0 goals. And people are going to look at it, another poor performance maybe. For the ones that didn't watch the game, for the ones that didn't even turn on the game, they're going to base it on FPL, they're going to base it on highlights. No goals. Another game. How many games now for Haaland? It is now, in terms of the last 1-2, is now what? 3 games in 2026. He's now 4 goals only. 4 goals in 2026. And people are going to look at it and say, you know what? That's a poor performance. But fam, Erling Haaland today dropped an absolute, bar the finishing, we had one moment in the last second of the game. He dropped an absolute link-up, hold-up, number 9, forward striking performance right there. Everything that Man City needed him, and everything where before when he was scoring goals, but he couldn't do it, or there was a couple of times when Man City went through a bad spell and he wasn't offering any sort of support. This is the kind of support which they need from Haaland. And this is the kind of performance that he's given them. The first goal, like I said, the first goal for me added a massive role to that winning that header, which led to the goal. The second goal, excellent run, move like KDB with that kind of cross, with that kind of delivery. But overall as well, fam, there was a moment in the second half where we went past 2-3 players that led to a chance from Ryan Cherky, who passed the ball to, I think it was was it Semenyo, who had a very, very weak shot, timid shot that Pope made easily. There was a couple times that his hold-up was very good. His link-up was very good. He was defending 2 times. He defended Anthony Gordon. This is the kind of performance he's basically carrying. He's basically saying, come here, let me carry you on my back, and let me take you to the promised land. Take you to that Premier League title. Because I can't lie. If you look at the stats, and the stats came up, and I was so shocked. Who do you guys think is leading the league in terms of the most goals? Erling Haaland. Who do you guys think is leading the league in terms of assists? Haaland is joint second in terms of most assists. Haaland is second with 7 assists. In terms of GAs, he's got 29 GAs. This kind of performance from Erling Haaland will go under the radar because he didn't score, and people look at Haaland for goals. But I can't lie; these are the kind of performances that I, as a fan, I, as a neutral, appreciate way more. Like especially the off the ball, especially the selfless stuff that he does for that team, and he did it so well. But for Man City, these are the kind of wins that you have to make, especially because Arsenal couldn't do it against Brentford. They let Brentford score late on. Against Wolves, they let Wolves score the last second, and it's a nice little feeling, especially when you don't play well, especially in the second half. I feel like second half Newcastle could have scored another goal, but they managed to defend pretty well. Donnarumma made two good saves, but defensively they did pretty well. Ruben Diaz, I didn't think was any good, especially in the first half, where that yellow card could have been a red in any random day because I felt like it was him. It was between him and I think yellow card was the right decision, but some referees in the Champions League, they might have a completely different perspective of it. They might give him a red card. But I think Nunes, I think did pretty well against Gordon when Gordon was playing on the left hand side. I think Walter Marde, for some reason, was playing a lot way deeper. Gordon was playing as the man forward. Elanga, bro, like the kind of player he is now compared to what he was for Forest, just two completely different players. Like at Newcastle, if he feels like scared, he feels scared to take players on. Whereas Forest, that was his game. Give him the ball, 1v1. He's gonna take you on. He's gonna drive with it. He's gonna cut into his left. He's gonna do everything with it. But at Newcastle, it feels like he's limited. It feels like he's allowed to do some things, but not other things. Like complete different player to what he was at Forest. But overall, it was a decent second half performance from Newcastle, but just a much better defensive performance for Manchester City. And that's what they need to do. Yes, it doesn't need to be pretty all the time. It doesn't need to be special all the time. It just needs to be efficient and effective enough to get the 3 points, something which Arsenal couldn't do against Brentford and against Wolves. And this kind of win puts a lot of pressure now on Arsenal to get that 3 points against Spurs. Because if they don't, if this ends up as a draw or as a loss, then bro, Man City with the game in hand, the Premier League title is wide open, something which you couldn't even have imagined about a month ago, where the league could have been wrapped up 11 points ahead, but now it's only 2 points. But listen, big win for Manchester City. Put down in the comment section what you guys made, City fans, what you guys made of the game itself, the player performances, the main takeaways, the main perspective from your own view. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you tomorrow with Arsenal against Spurs. Peace.